Yeah, we were talking before the mics came out about the music industry. Yeah, we were out in L.A. like 2 years ago. Me and my buddy, we just went out and hung out. Went down to the Comedy Store and just hung out on the Strip, for a little vacation. And we went down on Hollywood and Vine. I'm like staring at the big ass Capitol building, and I'm like, do they do anything there anymore?
Yeah,
I mean, that thing's huge.
It's a bitchin' building too. Really.
Yeah,
it's amazing inside, and it's got a long history. Obviously, there's still the studio there that's still pretty active, but as far as label goes,
yeah, it's mainly empty then, huh?
It's built on old industry.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Old catalog too with Capitol. They still got
Yeah.
They still got the catalog of the old. So.
Yeah, but like 5 employees to manage the whole
Pretty
thing.
much. It's the way it is. All these labels are down. Where there was 10, 15 floors of employees are now down to 15, 20 employees.
Yeah.
So it's like it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot.
Well, they're streamlined. They just got to streamline like everybody else does in this
the
business.
The thing is weird though. It's one or the other. It's either streamlined or it's still just totally excess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, if you can do the excess, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good for you, I mean, whatever. But, I guess at the end of the day, like we were saying, it's like it just boils down to less business, more about music. And, I know you got to put gas in the van and pay the rent, but it's kind of good in that sense, It gets back to the art of it,
Well, that's that's a thing that you would hope. And, thankfully, I have to say, my career, I've always kind of been lucky enough to still make that my number one priority, keeping the music and the art first,
man.
And of course we all have to work. We got to do some things sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've been pretty much going nonstop for over 30 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
and
cool.
it's actually, thankfully,
Super
like I
cool.
say, it continues, and I'm grateful for that. And I honestly can really say that I think it has a lot to do with just still loving what I'm doing.
Right.
And it's like it hasn't become that thing, which sadly for a lot of people, and I know it can be tough sometimes where it seems dry or, bored or, what I mean, just interested, but, I've always managed to somehow keep moving in a direction where things have stayed refreshing to me,
Yeah.
And, and I'm, like I say, I'm totally grateful for that, and I got to say it's a great thing to still be.
Yeah, it's special. That's different. That's different for everybody.
Yes, and that's just it. It's everybody is driven by whatever it is they're driven by, whether good or bad, and great, not whatever. It's like, but if you're focused and you're still continuing to do what you love, regardless of the size of it, it usually works out okay.
Yeah, it shows in your playing, man. I mean, you love playing. I saw you twice last year with Zakk Sabbath on the Clutch tour, and I was blown away. I'm a song guy, so I'm usually going to the shows for the songs, and it's kind of rare that a single player will stick out.
Oh, thank you, man.
But man, I had my eyes were on you the whole time. I was like, this guy, 100% balls to the wall the entire set.
I mean, how lucky is it to be playing Sabbath every night?
Yeah, it was fun, man.
But then doing it with Zakk and Blasco, for me, it's like,
absolutely,
who are my friends and just great players, and obviously Zakk being just who he is alone.
Yeah.
As a player and as a person, it's like, it's just, it's a great thing, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm truly, I'm truly blessed to be doing it with those dudes. And I love it,
That was one of the funnest shows I've been to in a while. I go to tons of them, but it was like pure escapism because you're like, it's totally real vibey. You know what I mean?
It's like even when they asked me to do it too, I was kind of like super psyched, and at the same time I was kind of like, man, I wonder how it's going to be like. It's like, but it's just us having fun playing Sabbath how we want to play it, but still sticking to the, you know what I mean? Sticking to what it's supposed to be, which is traditionally the songs in there, other than Zakk solos.
Right.
It's traditionally what it should be, and it's like, keeping it, honoring what it is,
right.
We all know how great Sabbath is, you know what I mean? It's like, so.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And there's always going to be the purest fan too, but it's like, dude,
of course.
You got to just let that go and have a good time.
Well,
that's what it's all about,
You can't please everybody, but if you're, it's like we really try to do, do it respectfully, to where even it's something that we would want to see. That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah.
It's what we would. I'd go see it if I wasn't. It's like, it's that kind of a thing. It's like, and
And
cool.
you know, it's hard to have expectations that way. I mean, you go to see a band called Zakk Sabbath featuring Zakk Wylde. You can't be expecting
Right.
verbatim Black Sabbath.
No.
I mean,
No.
you would go see a tribute band in a bar for that sort of thing.
Right.
you know?
Right. Yeah.
What I was thinking when I was watching that is the caliber of player that you guys have with Blasco and Zakk. I'm like, and you, it's like, you guys should write your some original shit. Is that coming down the pike? You guys tried that at all, or
it's
what?
like it's come up a few times, and
Because you guys are more than capable, for sure. I mean, you guys make a record and it's smoke.
And I think that in the reality of it is, it's probably something that we could easily tap into.
Yeah.
And I think maybe when the time is right, you know what I mean, we can, and we probably will.
Oh, that's cool.
As of right now, everybody's still got a million other things going on.
For sure, yeah.
So it's like we're lucky enough that people still want to see this Zakk. Because, I mean, the funniest thing about the Zakk Sabbath thing was we never thought we would be actually touring it. You know what I mean? It was kind of a fun thing that we threw together with the idea that we would do it when we wanted to. And,
at home.
Mostly, I think, probably at home. You know what I mean? It's
right.
like, and then the Clutch guys came at us with the tour, and we were kind of like, oh, shit, okay, It's like, and then we did that, went over great, and then
it was awesome.
we just did the last run, which was a headlining one, and we sold out every show. So we were kind of scratching our heads going like, wow, man, this, and then slowly festivals started, getting main stage at festivals, started getting offered
cool.
to us. Yeah, so now we start the second leg in September.
And that is with you, right? I read somewhere. It's probably fucking blabbermouth or some shit.
No, it's with me. There's 3 shows in Baltimore that JP's from Clutch is gonna be filling in for me because I had some dates with the Bronx that I had already committed to. So it was just that.
Right.
So you were like nonstop busy.
Yeah, pretty much. It goes from this ends, and 5 days later, I start the Bronx in Scandinavia. And then I come home, and I have a Bloodclot show that picks up in mid-October, I think. Is that what it is? August, October? Yeah. And then now I just got today a Trash Talk run starts on the West Coast, and then I get done with that after and then I start the Zakk South American run. So
do you do rehearsals in between that, or no? You just go for it?
I mean, honestly, it's it's tough because I mean, thankfully, all these bands right now, for the most, I've been playing with. So
so you just know it.
I just got to get in and kind of muscle memory and.
So not even one day, huh?
Yeah, pretty much, because it's like that's what's gonna happen with the Bronx coming up. It's like I'm home. First, I have 1 day off, and then I do rehearsals for 2 days. And then I'm flying to Scandinavia.
That's doable.
So.
Like you could do that.
How much longer the Bloodclot thing going on?
That picks up again too. So I got this run ends August 6th in San Diego.
You're in Cleveland tonight. Where are you at tomorrow?
Tomorrow we are in Cincinnati.
Oh, cool.
So it ends on the 6th, and like I say, then the Bronx pick up, and then there's a Bloodclot show in the middle of that when I get home. And then I start the Zakk run, and then it all kind of starts to roll all over again. So
it's a good problem to have, man.
Yeah. It's like I say, I it's a good problem to have, and I'm psyched to. I'm actually psyched to still be doing it, So.
Dude, I've been listening to you for a long time. I think the first record I really latched onto was in the early '90s with Sugartooth.
Oh, cool, man.
We listened to the shit out of that. My Jeff's filling in for my partner, but me and my partner were high school buddies.
Yeah.
And I probably turned it on to you guys too, But I was like, dude, you got to check this. I can't remember where we heard it,
Yeah.
It's probably on MTV or some shit, but we played the fuck out of that thing. We all bought it and played it nonstop and constantly, and it still holds up today. Every song is fucking amazing.
It's funny because I get that a lot, especially the last few years.
Really?
That's
weird. Cool.
It's like it's got this weird kind of
cult thing going on.
Resurgence in a way happening,
That's how it goes a lot of times.
Yeah.
It goes in cycles.
Yeah, so it's been coming up a lot lately, and with a lot of people,
I need to rub elbows with those guys. I was wondering about the other guys, like Mark. Does he still do anything?
Mark is actually, he played with James Hall in the Pleasure Club. He did that for a little while. but doesn't really play anymore. They still play. I mean, but it's kind of Mark works for ASCAP. He's like
Oh, okay.
he's got a great job in the family. And
Yeah,
stuff.
that makes sense.
And Josh does the same. Josh has got a solo record coming up. I think I'm going to do some stuff with him on me and Mark. Tim has a couple of things going on.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not quite sure what they are, but it's kind of not. It's kind of a hobby, I think, for most of them at this point. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. They should do some shows. You guys should do some local shows.
Well,
in LA.
we got actually hit up about doing some stuff. So
Oh, cool.
there's a possibility. I just don't. It would probably be in 2018, from what I
Oh, cool.
could gather, at least from.
What about yourself? You have a family?
I have a beautiful wife soon to be wife, yeah, and
Congrats on that.
yeah,
man.
we're planning on the family.
And
We're planning on the family.
She's totally cool.
Yeah,
with this
she's great.
Busy lifestyle.
It's like, I'll see you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's down, and she knows the deal, and it's not even an issue with her. She's a part of it.
Because, like we said, different for everybody, and
Yeah.
that's probably a
It's
major
not easy,
player
as
for
we
a
all
lot
know.
of people.
Yeah, it's not easy. So, but she's great and very supportive.
It's not easy for us, and we don't go very far usually. I mean,
No.
we're weekend warriors.
It's
so.
yeah. I mean,
It's like, you're leaving again? It's like, yeah. You know the score, lady. You signed up for this shit.
Yeah.
You can't get tired of it either.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, they're over it. His old lady's over it. They don't mine too. They don't go to the shows anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, that's cool. You guys better never start a band, man. We need your support. So
Yeah.
I got a couple more questions about the Sugar
Sure.
Tooth thing. Did you play in the second record?
I did.
You did?
I was in Danzig already, and they had asked me to come back and do the second record, and I did. And
You might have sound check. Have you guys done that yet? Howdy.
Got you a veggie burger.
okay, cool, bro. No, well, not now. Let me finish this podcast, and I'll do it. This is John.
How's it going, John?
Let me finish this, bro. Anyway, okay.
Just got you a veggie burger.
Yeah.
It's a good friend. You never give me any veggie burgers, you motherfucker.
Yeah, so I did play on the second record with the Dust Brothers.
That was a good one, man. They were both good.
Yeah,
We enjoyed
it
the shit out of it.
a different kind of direction for the band, and it was great. It was great. I had a great time doing it. I just, it was kind of like at the same time there was kind of talk of me trying to come back, but I just wasn't. Danzig was still very busy at that point, and
I think we'd seen you play with drums on it. Did you play the Metallica tour at Danzig, '94?
No, I came in right.
Okay,
after that.
yeah.
Came in on 4. I replaced Biscuits, and like I say, still John and Erie were still in the band and everything.
Cool.
But it-
Now there was like definitely a stylistic kind of shift between the first Sugar Tooth and the second.
Yeah,
That-
big
that-
time.
But it was super cool. It was the Dust Brothers they did their thing with the sampling and stuff. But
Yeah.
it made it work. It was a great record. We latched onto that one too.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun to do, and I did a few live shows with them. I did a few local things with them. On that record.
Yeah.
And I had a blast. Again, it was just like those guys are our boys, and we played together for so long. It was just the perfect fit when it came to all of us. And
Yeah.
So, like I say, it was a good time. It was a good time doing that record as
Yeah.
well.
The songwriting is amazing. Well, I mean, just the consistency of the songs. They're all fucking good. Those were two really good albums, front to back.
Yeah.
So this is a good opportunity to tell people about that band if they've never heard of it, to go get those two Sugar Tooth
Thank you,
records.
thank you.
If you can find them.
Yeah, and that's funny because I think that they're trying to get them re-released right now, from what I heard.
Oh, really?
From
Vinyl,
the guy
probably.
the guy who signed us, Todd Sullivan, had told Josh and Mark that he was working on that, and it's eventually, I think it's going to be available on Spotify soon.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, which
I
will
got-
be,
I have the hard
Be
copies
cool,
from back in the day. Get
I
it
don't
back
even think
out
I
there.
have copies, man. It's like,
Yeah.
sadly, I don't. I think my parents have copies, but I maybe have a CD or something.
You could probably find them on eBay. I got them both. I have a vinyl 45 that Mark sent me after we saw him at the garage shop. They were doing a 3-piece. I think Days of the New opened back then. There was not many people there on it. It was like a weeknight. That's all I remember. But then he sent me a postcard and a 45. I don't know how I gave him, probably mailing list shit back then.
Yeah.
Old school
Yeah.
stuff. And I still got it. But that's all. And there's no vinyl as far as I know.
Yeah,
of that
no,
band.
other than that 45, that's about it.
So Bloodclot, this is listened to the EPK, like the little 12-minute video you guys did, and you guys said this is pretty much the #1 project. Is that the deal? You're just kind of bouncing back and forth between Zakk and
There's definitely plans for future Bloodclot, though.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like you guys got a new one in the
Awesome.
can.
Yeah, we're gonna, as soon as we get, let's see, I think September, we're recording another EP, 5-song EP.
Okay.
So, but this thing just dropped last week, so.
Yeah.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
SSD Control.
Big fan. But yeah, this thing is just kind of just now starting to happen, you know, and we blew out of pre-orders of all the vinyl. We just found out yesterday, which is rad. We were, you know, like, yeah, that's great, you know.
That is awesome.
It's
cool
starting
vinyl
to pick
too. It's
up
marble
steam
vinyl.
now, you know, so yeah.
I've listened to that record twice already. It's fucking pretty fun. I'm not a big hardcore. We were kind of discussing this on the way here. I've never kind of been a big hardcore guy. At least I wasn't until I saw the Ramones. I saw them, I think, on their last tour with Joey, and then I understood it.
Yeah.
It took me to see the Ramones to understand like the high energy stuff, and I was like, oh, this is high energy, in your face, and fun. And they're not hardcore, they're punk, but you know, it's hardcore. You know,
punk rock, man.
Influenced a lot of hardcore kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
know.
So I really started to actually dig it then. So I like to see hardcore more live. You know, I think that's where it belongs more than anything else.
It's a big part of what it is. You know what I mean? It's like that's usually, you know, whether it's going to fly or not. As if
Well,
it
that's
could be
what it's
played.
always been about. I mean, the
100%.
records were just a means
That's
to
right.
have something to
That's right.
sell.
So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's like, and that's the thing with Bloodclot now. This is our first tour. We're out with Negative Approach right now, and it's you know, it's been a lot of cool people who are into it and not, but coming to see because they wanted to see, and it's, you know, and it's been coming off great. You know, it's like we're psyched, and we've had a lot of great, you know, response from the kids and everybody. So
Yeah.
Wide age range at the shows.
yeah, of course, young kids.
Yeah.
From old dudes like me, you know. So it's like it's, you
and
know,
us.
and it's rad because a lot of the older guys who were there, who saw a lot of this stuff back in the day, you know, between the two bands, Negative Approach, and the bands that we were all a part of in Bloodclot, you know, they're psyched. They're just like, man, this is what I've been waiting for, you know. It's like, you know, and then the young kids, like we played last night with a bunch of great bands, Span No Time from Pittsburgh, and you know, and they were great too, and they were just like, we're just so psyched because it's, you know, we got the record and now we saw it live and it's fucking badass.
Yeah, what you guys are doing is very true in a lot of ways too. That original root.
It's what it is. It's what we came from, and it's what we know.
Yeah.
So we were able to do that and still be creatively, you know, relevant. I would hope.
Yeah.
With this record.
Oh
you know?
yeah, it's a
like,
timeless sounding record for sure.
And, you know, and that's important. You know, it's like because at the end of the day, it's like all of us are players and all of us are musicians and music lovers.
Right.
As well as, you know, being a part of punk rock and hardcore. It's not just about this fast and loud. You know, it's got to have something.
I was scrolling through your Instagram and I was trying to check out your drum videos and I saw the picture of Greg Allman that you posted.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to that band all summer.
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, I've always loved them. They were like a band I kind of put away for a while because you know that kind of music's been around our whole lives. And then I go from that, listening to Allman Brothers, just fixated on the first fucking 4 records, all the ones with Dwayne.
Of course, man.
I was like, God damn it, that's just next level. I think about that. But then I go straight from that to listening to the Bloodclot record, and I'm like, this is how I roll.
That's how
it's just
beautiful.
bouncing back and forth. Yeah.
You know, and that's the
range.
Way, you know, that's how I was raised with music and everything.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just about one thing just because it was something I happened to be into or a fad or something. You know, music is music. You know, and it's like
it's good. It's good.
You know, all the bullshit aside, man, it's like it's obviously, as we know, it's bigger than all of us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
and
it'll outlive us all too. Hopefully.
Absolutely, and really, it's like it's important that, you know, people understand that it's, you know, it can be fun, it can be, you know, it can be sad, it can be political, it can be non. It's there's a million things music is incapable of doing, you know, and I think if you respect that and you have fun doing what you're doing, and hopefully have some kind of truth involved. It's what people.
It's beautiful.
People,
you got to
people
figure it
latch
out.
on, and people understand. They may not understand. They may not like the visit, but they respect it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think that's what's most important. You know.
It shines through. I think there's like there's kind of, it feels like there's a grassroots movement coming back, kind of digging into the mainstream a little bit. Like I've been following a band called All Them Witches. I don't know if you've heard them yet.
I've heard the name.
They're like younger kids, but they're sweet. It's almost like psychedelic stoner rock.
Oh, cool.
They came out of Nashville and they just did a record with Dave Cobb. You should check it out, dude. You'll love it. It's called Sleeping Through the War. But I was listening to that record and it really evoked all these feelings encompassing those thoughts. It's like these guys just are taking back what happened to the industry. It seems like, with the commercialism and the formulaic, pasting together of songs by executive and 500 producers, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like it's just a thing of symbolism coming out of the music city of Nashville that's been corporatized for this whole
Yeah, big time, man. It's it's a whole different thing with people now. I know so many people who were actually
getting back to the real shit.
Yeah.
There's John with this veggie burger, man.
What's up?
What the fuck is up?
What's going on? You have a great record, man.
Talk to this guy. They wrote it. Shit, I just
You were on it. You wrote the lyrics, right? We were just talking about that.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
We dig it.
We put a lot of energy, concentration, and hard work into that.
It shows.
Thank you, man.
You can hear it.
It's from the heart, man.
It is, man. Well, when you play with good people and brothers and there's a vibe, then that's what comes out.
That's
Good
what we were
Yeah,
just
we were
saying.
just
Yeah,
discussing
Play
that.
with
Yeah.
shitty attitude motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Kick 'em out of the
Yeah. Or keep them in. Look like we got the Spud Monsters out here too. Right on. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll be in there in a minute.
Not interrupt.
Oh no, you're
Got
fine.
you an
You want to jump in?
Vegan tempeh burger that you're gonna flip.
That's what I'm down with. I'm definitely feeling it. Thank you, brother.
Now that's classed as veggie burgers. Or are you guys
I
making
don't
these on the
know.
road?
What's
You got,
that?
you got a grill out here in the van?
No, we don't.
Yeah, a road
Sadly,
grill?
we don't. I wish we did.
You got to make that happen, dude.
Yeah, it's an everyday
Grind.
mission for us to try to find vegetarian, vegan food. It's fairly easy these days.
Summer tours, you got to get that little grill out and grill out some veggie burgers or whatever.
Yeah.
Throw some veggies on there. I know John's a vegan, so are you vegan?
Yeah, well, I'm mostly vegetarian.
Yeah.
I'm vegan for the most.
Yeah. It has a lot of merit,
Yeah.
I eat mostly vegetables with a little bit of meat dashed in there. But we're not
It's
talking
okay.
about diet, are we? I guess we are.
No, I'm
Shit, we're
certainly
getting
not.
old, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about food. No, I wanted to ask you about the approach of recording with Bloodclot. So I would assume it's more of like a live thing. You guys are just clicking in and fucking going, or is it the whole band? Or are you doing tracks individually?
Well, no, me and Todd actually tracked everything live together.
Cool. Yeah.
And what we did was when we did it, we had Nick came in and played some bass later afterwards, and then obviously John sang on it. We sent him back to New York and he did his vocals alone. That way, you know what I mean, because he was working out his own stuff.
Yeah.
And, but we, it was a weird thing because me and Todd got together for a couple days, kind of running over a couple things, and I split on tour, and then he was home and he finished some stuff up and was sending me stuff while I was out, and then we came home and literally went straight in, knocked it out, when we could, and we got drums and I think done in a couple days, and then.
Is that the way you'd prefer to do it, just real quick like that? Just get it done?
I think it depends on, obviously it depends on the band, it depends on the type of music and stuff like that. I prefer going in with, a bit of, a day or two of some kind of pre-production just to kind of,
right.
But I mean, not 100%. I like to go in and have a bit of freedom with some thought and parts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
some nuance, man.
Yeah.
That's how you get.
But there are times when a lot of times in Queens we used to go in and just pound something out to it was literally from the beginning to the end done.
Yeah.
A lot of times it was off the cuff, and it was just kind of
Wow.
Yeah, just really it just depends. It just depends, And I'm actually okay with either, I'm actually okay with either.
Yeah, they got two different feels. I know I've done that
We've
too.
done it all different kinds of ways, man.
That's it.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, and nowadays people piece things together right in front of you, and it's just like, I've done, me and Nick just did a record like that right before we left a couple months back with some kid who just, wanted us to play on his record. Just a friend of ours was producing his record, and he wanted me and Nick to play some bass and drums on it. We were like, okay, we came down, he played us the parts, we went in and tracked live, and then, we did like 3 or 4 songs, and we were done. You know, and it was simple as that. You know, and then he took a bunch of parts that we had done, and then him and his producer built a bunch of stuff on it. You know, so that worked too.
That
You know,
sounds
it was
fun.
Cool.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a blast, really. Just get
Yeah.
you walk in with nothing and you come out with something.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
That's kind of was, and then I just finished this band, The Last International. I finished their new record too, and
do you do like? Are you a studio guy too? You do like studio sessions
I
for
do.
people?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, it's not. I mean, it's something that I do all the time. You
Right.
know, in between working and touring when I can. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But it comes up, and it's not something that I only do like a lot of guys. You know, it's
Right.
Like they're all day long. You know,
Yeah,
just
right.
jumping from gig to gig. It's like that's not really my thing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
we're reading charts. And
Yeah,
shit.
you know, it's like I'd rather kind of, like I say, go in with somebody and figure out what they want and this and that, you know, something, and just do it that way, you know.
So well, I guess you kind of already answered that because you said the Queens kind of sometimes they had a part front to back done, and then other times you just jam a song and write it there and then
Yeah.
just track it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I could see that band,
Yeah.
like Millionaire. I bet that was
Yeah.
written off the cuff.
That was something that was kind of, well, actually, that was written by Mario Lawley prior to Def. And it was on like one of the Desert Sessions. Or, you know,
Oh, okay.
And then it kind of came together on those next sessions, you know.
I'm just a nerd that way. I like to know the process of
Yeah,
the
it's
bands,
just
what
like
they're
you did,
doing.
You know, a lot of stuff we, you know, kind of the way like Make It With You was done. You know, we did that in a Desert Session thing, and it ended up on record a couple records later, and
Cool.
you know, again, it just depends, you know, on what's going on. You know?
Yeah,
Um,
what the vibe is. Everybody
Yeah.
works a little differently.
yeah.
Like our last record, we did it on the cuff. We just had parts. And
Yeah.
we just go in there and we wrote it right there, recorded it right there. We didn't have a singer, nothing. It's just me and the guitar player. It's like, well, what do you think? And it was the funnest time I've ever had in the studio. I would like to try that again. Although we got some new stuff, so it's pretty much in the can. But yeah, I like that spontaneous. Yeah, that vibe, and that's kind of where the Bloodclot record kind of comes in. You can like hear that, you know. That's kind of how this music I think should be cut, like exactly how you guys.
Yeah, I
just
mean,
did
it had its. Most of it was worked out, but we
Oh,
had
sure, yeah.
moments of, you know, taking something, you know, expanding on it a bit. You know what I mean? While we were in there doing it, you know, and
Yep.
and then like I said, the next stuff that we got coming up is going to be, you know, we're going to go in and track me and Nick and Todd just completely live. You know,
Cool.
just going to do it that way.
Just clicking in and go.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
do an overdub here and there.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome, man.
Cool.
We're on board, man. We're fans.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
I've streamed the record, but I'm gonna pick up a copy probably tonight. If
Cool.
I'll get
Cool.
it somewhere. But thanks for doing this for us.
Anytime, man.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for
Next
having
time
me.
you're
I
in town,
appreciate
we'll do it again. Well,
Absolutely.
you're coming back in September, I think,
it.
right?
I'll be back here with Zakk. Yes.
All right, maybe we'll do another one.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Bring out
I'd
my
love
other.
to.
Looking forward to the show, man.
Awesome, brother. Thank you. Thanks
Have
for coming
fun.
out.
Have fun. Travel
Peace.
safe. Take it easy.
Thanks, brother.